Hi, I'd like to take just a couple minutes to try and explain Project Flickr to you. If most of you are like me, you really don't know anything about the digital world. 10010001 has absolutely no meaning to you. But that's what your computer works on. That's what the internet works on. That's what cyberspace works on. If you're like me, and you like music, you grew up with record stores. You know, looks kind of like these things. Remember those? Gary Newman. Wasn't very good, one-hit wonder. Anyway, what you did when you wanted music was you went to the record store, you looked through all their bins of albums that were sitting there. You flip through, you flip through, you flip through, you flip through, and you find something that you like. This is Tom Scott in L.A. I'm not a big jazz fan, but sometimes I do like listening to him. So what you do is you buy this and you take it home. It's brand new, it's sealed, it hasn't been tampered with. Okay, so moving on. In the 90s, if you remember when Bill Clinton was president, Al Gore was vice president, and Al's wife, Tipper, started this big push to basically censor the music industry because she didn't like the lyrics and material that was coming out, had managed to get congressional hearings started to restrict the music industry. We had some really great champions in that industry. Frank Zappa and Dee Snider of Twisted Sister, that testified in front of Congress using their First Amendment rights and did so very eloquently. What ended up happening was basically a compromise between the government and the music industry, which was putting warning labels on the outside of albums that had possibly offensive material in them. You probably remember seeing them. It says, warning, this music could contain offensive or objectionable material. You know, a lot of people didn't like it. It really wasn't that big a deal. But the parents knew what was in the album and might know that their kid maybe shouldn't be listening to it. Okay, about that time, there was also something big popping up called used record stores. You still see a few used bookstores now, but the record stores are all but gone. What that was a buyer beware situation. Somebody got tired of listening to their albums. They would bring them into the store, go to the guy behind the counter. He'd look at them and give them 50 cents or a buck, maybe even a buck and a half. It was a really good album for each used album. Then what he would do is turn around, set them out on his shelves, put them in his bins, and people could come into his store, look for your used music that you got tired of, and pay him $4 or $5 for that album. It's a good system, although it was buyer beware. You know, when you go looking for used albums, you never know what you're going to get. But since the album was real, it was tangible, you could take it, you could open it up, pull the album out, look and make sure it wasn't scratched or damaged. That way you knew you had good material and you weren't going to be hearing a bunch of static on your stereo. That was Alan Parsons, by the way. Dan, that guy was cool. Okay, now that I've explained that, let's kind of move forward to the digital age and Project Flickr, which affected a lot of what's called file sharing sites like LimeWire, FrostWire, Bearpaw, and there's many others. I really don't know anything about them because I have never been on any of those sites. But anyway, you could look at these file sharing sites very similarly to a used record store back from our days. Some kid finds a piece of music that he really likes and he wants to send it to a buddy of his, or he wants to just share it. What he would do is get on his computer or his device and upload it to this file sharing site, which is basically, like I said, the used record store. But instead of having bins and bins and bins of used albums, what you have are pages and pages and pages of files with particular songs, albums, CDs, and any type of music or videos on them. It's a pretty good deal. You know, one kid puts his up, another kid comes along and says, hey, I like that. I'm going to open it and download it. Now it's on mine. Like I said, it's all digital. It's not real. That's why they call it cyberspace. The big problem with this is it is a buyer beware situation, and since it's not real, since it is in cyberspace, it's very easy for someone that knows what they're doing to tamper with the files that they are uploading to these sites and put their own files inside the files, I know, it sounds crazy, that you want to listen to. For lack of a better term, I'm going to call them hidden files. So, let's just kind of see how a kid would think. He's on his computer, he's messing around, he's on LimeWire, he's looking for music, he's got his mouse in his right hand, scrolling, 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 which is the equivalent of thumbing through the albums. He's going down the page looking for a piece of music. He found something he liked. Hey, Joe's Garage, that was Frank Zappa. That's pretty cool. I want that. So what do you have to do? You have to open it so you can download it. Okay, no big deal. He opened the file, he downloaded it to his computer. Now he's got Frank Zappa on his computer. Way cool. A lot of people didn't understand him, but I love the guy. So he's got more time, he wants more music, so he goes thumbing, 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 thumbing again. And he finds Led Zeppelin. Oh, these guys were bad. And by saying bad, I mean good. So what's he do? He opens the file, he downloads it. Now the file is on his computer so he can listen to the music. Remember, it's not real. 100101. Got a little more time left. Let's do some more. Let's go thumbing through, thumbing through, thumbing through, thumbing through. Hey, check it out, REO Speedwagon. Wow, this was live. Man, these guys were out of Illinois. They were an awesome Midwest band. Kevin Cronin, Gary Richrath, Neil Dowdy, Greg Philbin, Alan Kratzer. Man, these guys just jammed. So, the kid wants to get this album or piece of music. So what's he do? He's got to open it up to download it, right? So let's open this up. Uh-oh. What's that say? That's not supposed to be there. Where are the guys in the band? What is that? It's a hidden picture. It says explicit child pornography. Guess what? The FBI has put this there and you had no idea it was there. Doesn't mean he was looking for child porn. But since he opened that, it's now on his computer. It's on his hard drive. Now, if you're like me again, you didn't know that your computer keeps track of everything you've ever done on it. Nobody has taught us how to keep our hard drives clean. Nobody has taught us how to keep safe. Nobody has taught us how to keep our computers safe. And so it was very easy for the FBI and ICE's tech-savvy people to slip their hidden file in that piece of music, and all they had to do was sit and wait. Sit and wait, and sit and wait, until somebody clicked their link. As soon as they clicked their link, again, their picture popped up. And they immediately knew that somebody got that. Now, while they immediately knew that somebody got that, it immediately registered the IP address of the somebody that got that. An IP address, for those of you that don't know, is a unique signature for each and every computer device out there that works on the internet. And basically all of them do now. With that IP address, they are going to start working behind the scenes. They are going to track down the internet account that IP address works through. After they go through the server that IP address goes through on a daily basis, they're going to figure out the billing address, the physical address, who's in the home, what's going on in the home. Basically, they are going to spend up to $250,000, and you didn't even know you did anything wrong, to investigate everything about you, your family, your friends, any associates, your work, and anything that you have ever done before they come and take your computer away. Remember, we don't know how to clean our hard drives. We didn't know that our hard drives were keeping everything. Heck, I didn't until recently. So they come, take your computer away, pull the hard drive out. Their forensics guy goes through it, goes through it, and it's like, aha, there's that picture we sent. Next thing you know, the cops are coming to your door with handcuffs in their hands. You are then arrested. You're part of Project Flicker. You are a child, you are already guilty until you can prove your innocence of possessing child pornography, even though this was blatant entrapment. Guys, I don't know about you, but it's time to stop. I don't believe the child pornographers should be out there either. But I do not believe that setting up and arresting innocent children and teenagers and young adults that had no idea this stuff was on there and ruining them as sex offenders for the rest of their lives is the answer. I applaud you for the actual true child molesters and pornographers that you do catch. But I think you've taken the easy way to just set out your dragnet and say that everyone in this country is guilty of child pornography if they find your link, even though they're not looking for it. My name is Scott Thompson. I'm the uncle of Andrew Rose, and these are my thoughts. I hope this will explain to you a little more about what I believe Project Flicker is. Thank you.